Properties of equations. There's this golden rule. What you do to one side, you must do the same to the other side, and you must keep it balanced. In fact, that's the only rule we have for equations. So one property is that we can multiply or divide both sides. So if I start with 2 bricks here, 6 circles, and 18 ones, I can divide both sides by 2. So this 2b equals 6c plus 18. We can end up with 1 brick, 3 circles plus 9 ones. So we end up with 1b equals 3c plus 9. And this new equation, this new balance, remains balanced. So that's one property. We can also do this similarly with multiplication. So we can do, in this case, 7x equals 10 plus 2y. We can do 5 groups of 7x, which is 35x, 5 groups of 10, 5 groups of 2y to get the 10y. So this new equation must also be balanced if the original one was balanced to start with. So there's another property in that we could add to both sides. Now before we just added numbers or variables to one side, so I did plus 5, but we're going to do something slightly different in that we have two balances here. So x plus y equals 2y plus 5. We have on this balance y plus 21 balances 2x's. And we have two balances here. And what we can do is we can combine these two balances together. So everything on the left side here gets all grouped together. And we end up with x plus y plus 21, or x plus 2y plus 21. So we have that here. We can group everything on the right hand side, and we end up with 2y's plus 5 plus 2x's. Okay, so we have that here. So basically we're just adding together the right hand side to get the right hand side here, and we can add the left hand side to get the left hand side here. And since the two balances were balanced to start with, the new balance or new equation must be balanced. So we could also subtract two balances. So if we start with a balance 6x plus 3y equals 15, we can take away this other equation, 5x plus 3y equals 13. So what do we end up with if we do that? Well, we can take 6x's minus 5x's, that gives us 1x. 3y, take away 3y, well that's 0y, so that's going to just be a 0 pair. And on this side we get 15 minus 13, and we get x equals 2. So what happened here, so we can subtract, so that's the property, but what ended up happening is we actually ended up getting an answer for x. We have x equals 2. And by this addition or subtraction, we can end up solving equations, because what we can end up doing is we can eliminate one of the variables. So this is what we want to do. We want to use these properties to eliminate one of the variables, and this allows us to solve for the system. So in this case here, the 3y's ended up canceling out, and all that was left on this new balance here were x's, and we were able to solve for x. And not only that, we have this system, two variables, two equations. We solve for x. We can solve for y by substituting back in. So we know that 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 3y equals 15. Well, that means 3y must be equal to 3, and y is equal to 1. And we can also test that. So I'm just going to write that off to the side here, because this is a secondary part of what we just did here, subtraction. We can try seeing if this works. So 5x, so 5 times 2 plus 3 times 1 is equal to 13. Yeah, that's correct. So we end up with the solution to this system. And we did this by first eliminating one of the variables. In this case, the 3y's were eliminated by subtraction. And then we were able to isolate the remaining variable.